Hi.
Hi.
Justyna.
And Kuba.
We are from Poland and we travel across Europe looking for places important for our human heritage. Now we are in our country, in Poland, in one of the most interesting archaeological region, near Sandomierz. Exactly we are near village Złota because in front of us here is a very old ancient mount. We are going towards ancient Barrow, on which in past times annual spring rituals, or spring fertility rituals took place. Who knows, maybe
those rituals are performed still today.
maybe.
Sometimes in middle of the night. Who knows?
Maybe, who knows? The place about which we are talking, it's so-called Kopiec Kwacały. Who was Kwacała? People say that he was a knight commander who fell fighting the Tatars in 1260, or it's a mass grave of Tatars invaders killed by Kwacała. But some years ago, archaeological works took place here.
Okay, so now we are on Kwacała Mount.
Yes.
And at first, most important, our tradition in such places, it's coffee.
Coffee. Our traditional coffee.
And
Our
second tradition,
And our second tradition,
it's
libation.
libation in honor of our
Ancestors. Because we on the burial place.
And we hope they will look at us kindly
Yes.
after libation.
Yes. The mount is above river valleys, and everywhere around archaeological works said that everywhere were burial places for many cultures. Under us, beneath this big, now
Not such big.
now not such big,
No, not such. I think it was bigger
yes, it was
in past.
absolutely bigger in the past, but under this mount, in the foot of this barrow, archaeologists found a burial from early Bronze Age, from 2300 to 1600 Mierzanowicka culture. It was the grave of a family leader, tribal chieftain or shaman. He was about 25-30 years old, buried at the foot of the mount in the frog or rider position, on his back with his arms crossed over his chest, his legs drawn up and his knees turned outwards. So this is maybe something like that. Something like this. Okay. The man was likely buried in ceremonial attire. He wore a breastplate made of 3 pairs of over 20 centimeter long boar sabers, tied at the back with cords strung with clamshell beads, a sign of the man's high social standing. He wore a pair of willow leaf-shaped earrings at the temples, but not such earrings, but something like behind ears, over ears, and here. The reconstruction of the burial assumes that at the time of his burial, the man had long hair which was tied back in a ponytail with a copper ring. A bone pin held the deceased clothing together. A small bag hung from his belt, containing pendants made of animal teeth, likely strung on a cord. Another bone pin, 2 spearheads, and a flint scraper. The man's remains were wrapped in a shroud which was fastened with 3 copper discs. Furthermore, next to the barrow, as we said, several graves of everywhere were graves of ancient cultures. But what is also very interesting, under this barrow earlier was a megalithic tomb of funnel-beaker culture. These are megalithic graves of funnel-beaker culture. They are in central Poland. We made a video about them. Link to that video is in the description below. The grave took its shape in the early Middle Ages, but here was another grave from late Middle Ages, or also from modern times. It was a grave of a child, somewhere near the top of this barrow. So, a very interesting ancient burial place.
So that's all may be treated as an example of a true, that a good sacred place may be useful for many cultures during a long time.
Yes.
Here for thousands years.
Yes.
To middle.
As a burial place, but maybe as a ritual place.
Yes, of course.
Maybe it is also used nowadays.
And listen, I'm half serious. In such places, we saw such curious people's activity in modern time that
the libation is certain for us.
Yes. Yes.
Now we are in Sandomierz because here in the museum here are artifacts from Kopiec-Kwacała. But Sandomierz is the capital of the so-called Archaeological Paradise, Archaeological Eden. Why? Because here are so many archaeological sites that on the plan of the map of Poland, here is for a paradise for us, and I hope for our viewers, our subscribers. So, for example, not only Kopiec-Kwacała, or maybe Wilczyce. It's Lies Hill nearby, and there archaeologists found the rest of the Paleolithic hut. The stone pavement from the 15 to 13,000 years ago, and the pavement was covered likely by furs, by animal skins. The hut was inhabited by hunters from Ice Age. They hunted Arctic foxes and, for example, also woolly rhinoceros, beavers, hares and other small rodents, but also reindeers. During one of the hunting stays, a tragic event occurred. Was this the last time the hut's inhabitants stayed here? It's possible. During this stay, the woman gave birth to a premature baby, likely a girl, who died immediately. The child was buried under the hut's floor and given as a gift a valuable necklace made of over 100 fox Arctic teeth. A female figurine made of a mammoth tusk was also found nearby. Yes, people of this culture, Magdalenian culture, made highly stylized female figurines. Why do we know that such artifacts are female figurines? Because stages between this artifact and the woman's silhouettes are found in many places in Europe. So, about 60 female figurines of this type were found at the site. Most were made of flint, with only a few made of mammoth tusk. All of them fit the mentioned pattern, except for one, the largest, located near the body of a premature infant buried there. This one is the largest, about 22 centimeters long, and resembles the silhouette of a pregnant woman. Other figurines are about 8 centimeters long.
What attracts my attention is a rich goods in child's grave. For me, it's a signature of strength of love to the child in Ice Age.
Yes. And
Magdalenian epoch.
And note, it was one family of hunter-gatherers, so they aren't the specially rich, or maybe special. I think they weren't special people.
Yes, of course.
Ordinary people. One
people.
Family of hunter-gatherers.
Like rest of the tribe.
And so rich, rich grave goods. And for premature baby. So for them, the child was human.
Yes, of course. A child was human, and maybe child was especially important.
Yes.
For rest of
family.
Clan family.
What is interesting, it was one hut.
Yes.
One hut on this lowest hill. On that lowest hill.
And next thing, it was is a finding of many family figurines.
Female figurines.
Female
Yes.
figurines.
About 60. 60.
On different
Stages of completion.
yes, and it for me it looks like maybe some kind of manufacture with figurines,
Or maybe they were used for rituals, and one figurine for one ritual, maybe.
Okay, but why 60 in one place? As a reserve?
I don't know.
Okay. Maybe findings of goods from other countries. For example,
Now Germany, now
Germany.
Slovakia.
Yes, of course. Now Germany.
Now Czech Republic, because
Czech
some pieces from other countries were found on the site. Other countries now, not in those times. That's all for today's episode. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe, because we have much more stories about human distant past and about ancient archaeological sites, the stories will appear on YouTube soon. So see you in the next one, or on the trail. Bye bye.
Bye.